Rob.
Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum.
Let's pull his pants down. Come on, give him a wedgie. What you got, mate?
All right, so getting on to the topic. I just want to get you guys' opinions about adulteries within a family, and how much that can devastate a family, like adultery.
Just before you start,
yeah.
Just before you start, are you talking
Go ahead.
Are you talking about the Prophet ﷺ married a divorced wife of his adopted son?
No.
So adultery within a family.
Yeah. So I just want you guys' opinion about adultery in a family and how it can devastate a family.
Rob, do you believe Islam teaches you can commit adultery within a family?
No. First of all, I just want to get you guys' opinion.
Your little games. Do you believe Islam teaches you can commit adultery within a family? Or are you having a bash at the Hindus? What is it?
So
he's got something up his sleeve, definitely.
I'm not allowing him. So, Rob, do you believe Islam teaches you can commit adultery within a family?
Okay, so if I was married, I'm actually divorced.
Rob, you need to answer the question Hamza is asking.
Rob, can you answer my question, please? Do you believe
Go ahead.
Do you believe Islam permits adultery within a family?
Well, it actually gets worse than that,
Forget getting worse than that. Let's just start with that. Do you believe Islam permits adultery within a family?
Well, unfortunately, that's the evidence that I've come across.
Right. And when you say adultery within a family, what are you talking about?
Well, I'm sure you guys would agree.
Rob, you made the claim, so I want to understand your claim. So what do you mean by adultery within a family?
Okay, so let's assume if I was married, okay? I'm actually divorced, but if I was remarried or married again, if I went and I committed adultery, could I then blame God for my own sins or zina?
Look. I'm asking a very simple question. Where does Islam... Well, what do you mean by adultery in a family? You mean what? So someone's married, they commit adultery with who?
Well, obviously a third party outside of the family.
So that's not adultery within a family, then, is it?
Yeah.
It's just adultery.
Well, no. Within the family would be incest.
Well, obviously, if you're married... Well, obviously, if you're married and you're going with a third party outside of the marriage...
What's that got to do with the family? It's just
adultery. It's not
forget the family. Rob, what's adultery?
Well, obviously, if a man and woman are married and the guy is going outside with a third party that he's not married to, that could be very, very devastating for a family. I'm sure you could agree.
No. So what you're saying is adultery is a bad thing, yeah?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right, and you're divorced, yeah?
I'm divorced, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Was your reason for getting divorced sexual immorality?
Not on my side.
Right. Are you allowed to remarry, or is she allowed to remarry? Well, not on your side. She cheated on you, bro. How could she cheat on you? Come on, man.
Well...
You're like Tony Soprano, man. Why would she cheat on you? Anyway, forget that. What I'm saying is, can you get remarried as a Christian?
Well, there was a lot more to it, but anyway, yeah. I don't want to go into sort of personal. I don't want to go into my personal.
No, but
details.
Can you get remarried, or is that adultery?
No, I am allowed to, under the law of the New Testament. I am allowed to get remarried. Yeah.
Is she allowed to get remarried?
If she did, I believe technically she would be. Committing adultery as to those laws.
And why would that be adultery?
Just because, like I said, I don't particularly want to go into personal details. It's
no. Why is she committing adultery though? I don't understand. Because adultery, you said, when a man and woman are married and one has sex outside of that marriage, that's adultery. But your wife isn't married, so why is she committing adultery?
Okay, so look, I don't particularly want to go into personal details.
My friend. You open this can of worms.
No. I'm just trying to stick to the Islamic scriptures.
No. You came with a stupid point, and it's backfiring.
It's not stupid. No, it's not stupid.
Well, it kind of is. All right. So let's go back to
because
the
eventually, I will give you the hadith.
Are you referring to the idea then?
Here comes the hadith.
Yes, Rob's point.
We had it all this time.
so are you? So if I understand now, because I like to take the bullets out your gun, Rob, before you can fire them. So I think you're referring now, if I'm not wrong, that if a man's married to a woman and they have a captive of war and he has relations with her, you say that's adultery.
No.
Right. So
Hamza, Hamza, can you stop assuming for 1 minute?
All right, tell us the adultery that Islam permits.
Go on, just bring the hadith. You know you're going to do it anyway.
I'll give you the hadith number.
Yeah,
I'll give you the hadith number.
Hadith number. It's adultery.
So
no, you need to read the hadith.
Well, go on then. Look, even your fellow Christians.
Sahih Muslim 2657b.
Read it.
So yeah, Sahih Muslim 2657b.
Just read it. Why do you guys come with references like with Zaki Naik? Just read it.
No, because if I go to a different tab on my phone, it actually then cuts me out.
Go to it.
So it's Sahih Muslim 2657b.
Read, what's he banging on about?
I'll read it out. I'll read it out.
Oh, go.
Abu Hurairah reported Allah's apostle, peace be upon him, is saying, "Verily, Allah has fixed the very portion of adultery which a man will indulge in, and which he of necessity must commit. The adultery of the eye is the lustful look. The adultery of the tongue is the licentious speech." I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. The heart desires and yearns, which the parts may or may not put into effect.
Right. Rob, how do you understand that?
Yeah, what is your claim?
Why is Allah causing zina?
Okay, it is looking at somebody with lust. Is that zina?
Allah doing that to
Rob,
people?
Rob.
What?
Okay.
What have you been smoking,
Rob? It's a very simple one. Okay. Basically, what it's saying is a man may speak to a woman who may be married. Yeah. And he may find that woman attractive. Yeah. And thus he's doing adultery of the eye because she's already married. But it's not on him because he may not have known she was married. It's not a big deal.
It is. It is.
No,
yes, it is. Allah is fixing the very portion of adultery that a man will indulge in.
Hamza,
he's telling you the nature of man.
Hamza, you're focusing on the wrong part of what Rob is trying to use. Because the report starts off with saying, "Verily, Allah has fixed the very portion of adultery which a man will indulge in." In Arabic, it says, "Inna Allah kataba ala ibn Adam haddahu min az-zina." Allah has written upon the son of Adam his acts of zina, meaning that he will necessarily commit. That's fine. So basically, what Rob is saying is that since it is written, then man is forced to do it. And since man is forced to do it, then Allah is to blame for that person doing it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala having knowledge of a man doing such a thing, that means the person is forced to doing that thing. So this has to do with predestination and whatnot.
But also has to do with the nature of man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'll see you later. Bye.
I don't think he understood.
Like I said, adultery of the eye, adultery of the...
No, it's to do with predestination. I think that's what Farid got it right. But I don't know. He claims some sort of a victory there. Predestination is also in Christianity. What is he on about? I really don't know what his objection was, but anyway.
So basically, I don't know. You didn't tell me because I have no clue. I have no clue about Christianity and Christian ideologies. Aren't the actions of man known to God in Christianity before a person commits those actions?
Yeah, of course, yeah. They
So
have the same principle, yeah.
is the difference between the two? Is it written down in Islam and not written down in Christianity, or is it also written down in Christianity?
No, it's in Christianity as well. And in fact,
No,
the
no, he's
same
saying
thing
is
with
the knowledge of God written in Christianity?
written.
You know,
I don't
like
think they
Allah
have.
Mahfuz.
Yeah, I don't think they have this written concept like in
Okay.
the preserved tablets, like the way we do.
Right.
But with regards to the zina of the eyes, adultery of the eyes, that's quite clear in the Bible. For example, in Matthew 18, it says that if your eyes cause you to stumble, then pluck it out and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life with one eye than to have two eyes and to be thrown into the hellfire. So it's the adultery of the eyes. The same concept is there in Christianity as well. It just says,
but is adultery of the eye the same as having sex outside of marriage?
Of course not.
no, it's not the same. It's
Well, I
Because
think
the explanation I heard was about when you speak to a woman or a woman speaking to a man, mainly a man speaking to a woman, to be honest, he may be sexually attracted to her.
it's basically to look at someone in a lustful way.
Yeah. Or speak to someone in a way.
Yeah.
Or,
But
Yeah,
here
but
it's
that would
adultery
be
of the eye.
forbidden.
I'm not going to go to the
Yeah,
private
and the
part.
tongue.
Well,
Yeah,
we're done.
I think it's mentioned about the tongue in the Bible as well.
Yeah, that would be
But anyway,
forbidden. But
I think
I
Rob.
so I was
That's
just
Rob
going to
for
say,
you.
just on the
Yeah.
point, the problem with Rob and the problem with people like Rob is they don't understand how Muslims, particularly classical traditional Muslims, within the Islamic tradition, have understood these terms and understood things like when it says it's been written for man X. This is the problem, because they think, oh, look, that means, God is forcing you to do it. But in the language, in the phraseology, in the way we understand it from our tradition, is that this means that it's written in the protected decree. Yeah, this is the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not that it is ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he's forcing it upon his servants. Yeah. So I think it just, and I always find it very strange because I find it really difficult when people, non-Muslims, bring out some hadith in particular book, because, for us as Muslims, we're very careful. We try to be really careful. It's like saying, hold on, what do the scholars say about this? What's the sharh? What are the other texts that are related to this in order to understand this? How, all of these processes that you have to go through in order to understand a particular hadith. That's why, with what I would advise non-Muslims, if they're going to critique Islam, don't go to one particular hadith and that's it in isolation, because that is, that's not the methodology that Muslims employ or have ever employed in order to understand our text. What we tend to do, or what we do, the methodology generally is that when it comes to a particular subject area, we take all of the text, whether that's from the Quran or the Sunnah, in order to understand a particular text, and the particular context and the subject area that this text is talking about. This is really important. So, I really hope, non-Muslims, Christians, atheists, when they look at, certain verses or a hadith, that they understand the methodology that Muslims employ. So rather than straw-manning Muslims, look at what Muslims themselves claim about the particular text and argue from that perspective.
Just to make a point here, very important to highlight, Brother Sharif, we operate with this mindset that, when we are going to make any criticism of any other faith or ideology or concepts people have, we want to represent their ideologies or the form in the best possible manner as they articulate it, rather than strawmanning their position. Because if we can then understand and say, look, this is your position and this is our criticism, then they know our criticism will be valid. But unfortunately, what we find when people try to criticize our position, firstly, majority of them don't even understand what our position is, and that either it's from their ignorance of not knowing it, or somehow they have misunderstood it because they haven't looked into it properly. So this is what we expect. If we are going to engage in a comparative understanding of ideologies or belief systems or faith or no faith whatsoever between different peoples and cultures, try to understand what they believe. Firstly, what is their position? if you're going to make any criticism of it. I mean, that's only fair and reasonable, and this is what we ask, of our traditions, if you are going to look into it and criticize it. And if you actually do use that method, you will see that half of your problems already go away to begin with. And then
and I think for Muslims as well, it's important for Muslims to understand, because there are always going to be a hadith that you might not have come across, and that somebody brings up, and says, "Oh, there's a problem here." The issue then becomes, it's about the methodology. How are they assessing? How are they understanding these particular hadith? Are they, bringing all of the text that relate to that subject area? Are they bringing the sharh, the explanations from the scholars on that particular hadith, who would have gone through and sieved through? Have they looked at reconciliations? Have they looked at apparent contradictions and how they've been reconciled? All of these things have to be done. Now, if somebody's not doing that and they're just bringing a particular hadith, in isolation of the whole discussion, I'll be honest with you, I just dismiss it. I just don't think they've done the homework. I don't think they've understood the point. And similarly, if I was to go to the Bible and take a particular passage out, one verse, and say, "Oh, this means X, and therefore you're wrong," I would be at fault as well. What I try to do, if I'm trying to understand a particular verse of the Bible, I try to understand, what do Christian scholars say about this particular verse, before trying to attempt to use it, and then look at what criticism and the counter criticism that's being leveled, and then you have a better understanding and picture about what's being said.